What's up, everybody? It's your girl Kiwan, and I am back with episode 3, season 1 of Soul Food, y'all. Heart of the Matter. Before I start, make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe. Click the notification bell button so you can be updated on every video I drop. Make sure y'all like the videos so I can stay in the algorithm. Shout out to all the new subscribers. Okay, welcome to the hood. Okay. Yes. No, I'm just kidding. This is all I do around here, okay? I laugh at myself. You just gotta laugh at yourself sometimes. So, your girl I laugh at myself. No, for real. I hope y'all like my content. Let me know what y'all think. If y'all comment, I do respond back. Even if it's not so favorable, I still try to find a way to respond back, but I still respond back, So yeah, I do respond back. So yeah, y'all let me know what y'all think. If you don't, that's cool. But welcome. I don't have a lot to review because a lot of things have gone off. If you are new to my channel, if you've seen old past reviews of housewife shows, I no longer review housewife shows. I have dropped Housewives of Atlanta mid-season this season because it has started messing with my psyche, and I got tired of everybody. I am over it. I've been over it since Potomac. I won't pick up anything. The only one I am picking up on is the Housewives of Rhode Island because it's so new, it's fresh, and these ladies are new to us, and it's organic for now. So yes, until I get tired of that. The only shows I am doing on Bravo is Married. I'm gonna always pick up Married to Medicine and Next Gen NYC for now. Everything else is pretty much all the other stuff on. Maybe I do try to do throwback shows. So, and that just depends on my load. Hulu shows different things. So just click the notification bell button so you can be notified on all things. Check out my community board, and I'll sometimes let you guys know what's coming out, what I'll be dropping. I try to do it periodically so y'all can be updated on those things as well. Anyway, Heart of the Matter, episode 3. So y'all, it's late and Terry is at her office working, and enters Damon because I was like, wait, y'all, when did y'all make up? Because last episode y'all wasn't speaking. Anyway, it just started getting hot and heavy, and they started getting busy at work. And so Terry looks over to see Miles sitting over there at the chair, and then she see a lion, but then it was a dream. She wake up, but she's still at work working. I was like, girl. So the next scene, Lim is still, y'all know he was delivering illegal packages for his cousin, and we see that Lim is being watched. I said, okay. Anyway, Lim makes it home. Him and Bird is having a conversation, and of course, he's still lying to Bird about, because he don't have a job, but he's telling Bird that he's going out looking for a job. Or I think he told her he had like a temp job, but he's still lying to her about the packages and whatnot. And I'm just like, Lim, like, he got an attitude with her. Like, it's just up and down with Lim. It's like Dr. Jekyll and Mrs. Hyde. And honestly, I don't like Lim's cousins. I don't like both of his cousins. Jack, nor I forgot the other cousin name, but Jack's brother. They are into illegal stuff. And Lim, you just got out again. Lim, you are on parole. And I just don't feel like they always have Lim. They never have Lim best. Like, they don't have they don't have good intentions. I just don't think they do. Hold on. Other than that, Lim is tripping. I don't like his cousins, and I just feel like his cousins don't have his best interest. and we'll get to Jack later on in this episode, and we'll get to Jack a little more in the next episode as well. But I'll post the next episode. Maybe I'm gonna try to do it tomorrow. I'm gonna try. I don't know. Anyway, Terry bumps into Damon, and she still feels a bit embarrassed, if you will. Like, she's kind of still on watch, looking around to see who's kind of looking to see if anybody noticed, like, you know, her and Damon. And so he tells her, listen, you don't have to worry. I still won't bother you, X, Y, and Z. I just need you to sign the package. So, because Terry has been acting funny with him when he comes into the office, he makes it strictly business. And I'm not mad at that, but I also understand that I have to keep this business because I work here. I can't put these people in my business. I won't put these people in my business, and you just have to understand that. Like, I'm not putting myself on the line and my position on the line for you. We just met. I'm sorry. I get it. I get it. And Terry actually just, I want to say Terry just, she's a junior associate. Like, this, I want to say in like a season or two from now, I want to say she's going to try to start working towards partner at some point. I do remember that. So, in the next scene, we see Lim. Lim is actually making that run again, that trying to get packages, pick up packages for his cousin, and he runs into Jack. Jack is a cop. Y'all remember Jack is a detective, and Jack, the detective, Lim's cousin, is into some grimy stuff anyway, and he stops Lim, and he just started having a conversation. So Lim was like, "Oh, what's up?" They shooting the crap, and so Jack is actually stalling, because I believe Jack was the one who's actually following Lim and notices that Lim is the one that's making the runs for his cousin. So anyway, he just stalling him, because Lim trying to get the drop, but Lim don't know what's going on. So he was like, how's your family? Tell Bird I'm sorry that Big Mama died. She used to make the best food and yada yada yada. So he was like, all right. So again, Lim trying to get to his place, because Lim just thinking about, I gotta make this drop because I have to make this money. So Jack was like, I need you to pause right now. And so Lim was like, what's up? So he was like, the cops are coming. And as soon as he said that, the cops were swarming old boy's house, raided the house, and took old boy to jail. Now, had Jack not showed up, Lim would have went to jail too, and that would have been 10 years automatic for Lim. That's what I'm saying. You putting yourself in these terrible positions because you're not patient enough to get a job. Like, I'm sorry, I would have went and worked around the corner at Jeremiah's as a bag boy, like something. Anyway, in the next scene, Max is upset because she thinks Terry is allowing Lester. Okay, let me back this up a little bit. Terry is at work, and her coworker lets her know that they're going to have to do a settlement conference with Lester Hardy. So Terry was like, okay, I need to go have a conversation with my sisters. And we get to the sisters. Terry lets them know what's going on. Of course, Max is upset. She's upset because she thinks that Terry is allowing Lester Hardy to get away with stealing from their dad's store. Terry's firm actually suggests that Terry do a conference settlement. And so the next thing the sisters talk about is, Max bring up his Sunday dinner. Max wants to cook catfish, but Bird asked to cancel. She said because the girls wanted to see Jeremiah, and she said they have plans, and the only day that the girls are off on a Sunday, so that's the only day they can come visit Jeremiah. And she wanted to hang out with the girls, and Terry has a whole lot of work that she's been doing, and so she didn't mind taking a day away from Sunday's meal, to catch up on some work. So of course Max is offended, and she thinks that they're skipping because it's at her home. Bird just simply lets her know, hey, it is not like that. It's just because we are busy and we appreciate you. So Max was like, well, what did she say? Max said, well, I have to do X, Y, and Z. I have to get this. I'm always coordinating this and coordinating this and coordinating that. Max, of course you have to do all of that. You don't have no damn job. These people have jobs. And I'm not diminishing Max, but Max acts like she tries to make herself up here. And I think it's her insecurity. And I think, her mom had, I guess she learned from Big Mama that being a wife and a mother makes you here. And because these women are, they work, Terry was a wife, but she's a career woman. She's a single career woman. You have Bird, who's a wife, a mother, and a career woman. They are all the same, but somehow Maxine just thinks that somehow she's just above sometimes. I don't understand why. So Bird apologizes to her and let her know, hey, we're just busy. But Max just can't seem to understand that. And I just want Max to know that you designated your life. You designated yourself to be your family's martyr. Not only that, you decided to not do anything with your life, but you pride yourself on being a wife and being a mother, and that's it. You that's what you learned from Big Mama, being a wife and a mother. And you every chance you get, you take the moment to throw in your sister's face your husband, the fact that she's divorced. You throw that in Terry's face every time. And again, I feel like that comes from a level of insecurity. And I also need to say this. When it comes to Max, I feel like in that moment she has some type of... I feel like she had a level of entitlement over her sister's lives. And I was like, Max, if you don't go get a life outside of your kids and outside of Kenny and outside of Kenny's business, Kenny can hire somebody. And he did hire somebody. But then he wanted to her. But we'll get to that season whenever that comes. I actually like that lady. But yeah, I was like, okay. I just wanted to throw those things out there. I like Max. I'm gonna be completely honest. Max really, so far, and I've only been doing 3 episodes, Max has completely worked my nerve. Max has managed to get on my nerve. I actually thought it would be Terry, but it has absolutely been Max. And the one thing Bird has, when it comes to her sisters, Bird will get like, she would get so fly at the mouth when it comes to her sisters, but when it comes to Lem's stupid ass, she act like she just couldn't stand up to Lem. Like sometimes she said what she needed to say to him, but he was such an asshole. Like, I didn't like Lem. Lim is probably my least favorite. Well, next to Kenny, Lim and Kenny are my least favorite in Max. Those are the only people on there besides Burden. But yes, they are probably my least favorite. The way what's his name? The way Lim tries to handle Bird, that shit irritates me, especially when she questions him. And it's like, you're gonna always holler because you're a hit dog. He's erratic. He's emotionally unaware. He's always doing stupid shit. And you can't be honest with your wife. So what do? You lash out at this lady. I'm telling y'all, I be trying to remember this show, but I don't. I think when I see some parts, I can remember some episodes, but not all of them. So anyway, Kenny gets the new truck. Everybody goes to Kenny's shop and look at the new truck. Kenny, big mouth ass, decided to blurt out to Max, Miles is going to be going on a tour for a year with the band, and Terry feels away. Now, Terry and Miles, if you don't know, Terry and Miles have been divorced for 6 months. And Miles has been seeing somebody, not, steady, but it's been kind of off and on. Terry just started seeing Damon. Y'all know she ain't been seeing nobody but that work. She ain't been getting that set worked, okay? But when she met Damon was definitely working that set, okay? Shout out to the Dominique Morgan, okay? No, I love Dominique Morgan. No, for real. I just don't understand why Terry felt the need why she felt like Miles needed to tell her his whereabouts. Because as we see Miles in the past 3 episodes, the times he actually tried to talk to Terry, she would have an attitude. She would throw him out. She would be so dismissive to him. So if you're always dismissive to me, why do I have to keep telling you anything I have going on? I'm just saying. Anyway, after Kenny blurts everything out, he turns to Lim because Lim knew. Miles told Kenny and Lim only. And so Lim never said a word. Kenny decided to turn to Lim and was like, well, thanks for helping me. Sir, you shouldn't have never ran your mouth. We knew Lim wasn't going to say nothing. Because he a secret holding mother lover. He ain't going to say shit. Okay? Anyway, when I tell y'all, I think Kenny is so whack. I think Kenny is so whack. Anyway, next scene. Terry goes to see... No, Miles comes to Terry's house. She has a box or something for him. And I'm assuming there's some type of document that Miles needs to look over for Terry to sign. And because he's an attorney, of course he's going to have it looked over. I mean, he was an attorney. He's going to have it looked over. And he's going to have it sent back to Terry the next day. She's mad because he didn't tell her. So she was like, well, why didn't you tell me, you were leaving? Again, Terry, Miles doesn't owe you anything. You moved on. He's moved on. And again, every time he's trying to have any type of a conversation with you, you will cut him off. You will be very dismissive. And you will either tell him to leave or you will walk away from him in some type of frustrated, emotional way. So at this point, I really don't understand what it is that you're wanting from him. And again, I still don't understand why you are with Damon when you're still not over Miles? Again, I understand why you had to leave Miles, but you're still not over him because it's only been 6 months and y'all been married for a long time. Anyway, Max is at home lashing out on Kenny and whoever's in her way. And I noticed that Max does this when she's mad at these sisters. She goes home and she starts to lash out. Instead of just being mad over here, you bring it elsewhere. So Max is pissed. Basically, as a whole, Max is really just pissed about Sunday dinner, and she just bitching about everything else. And Kenny was like, whoa, whoa, whoa. Like, why are you mad at me? What's wrong with you? And so, she explains to Kenny what was going on. And he listens and he hears her out. And he was like, he feels bad for her. And she was like, well, Bird said, can we just wait until Mama's house is done and then we can have the dinners again. So Max really feels away because, they don't want to have the I think Max just feels like they don't want to have the dinners at her house. They want to wait for Big Mama. They want to wait for the house to be done so they can do it at their usual spot. I don't know if that's that space of comfort where everybody feels comfortable having it at Big Mama's because that's what they're completely used to. I don't know. I'm just going to assume. One is just going to assume. Anyway, Max, and what I like is each sister, they always have that moment of grief. Each sister, they always have a moment of grief. They have a moment of flashback with their mom, and they have a moment of grief. And I actually like that. I actually like it. Anyway, Lim is at this restaurant getting ready to order some food. Jack runs into Lim and they talk about Franco. Franco and Lim, that's his name. So Franco and Jack are brothers. Lim is working for Franco. Franco had Lim run packages and pick up packages from the dude that was raided and arrested. Okay? And now Jack tells Lim that Franco has to find a new supplier. My question is, if you arrested homeboy, why didn't you have your brother arrested? See, that's what I'm talking about. Jack has as far as I can remember, Jack has been grimy just like his brother Franco. And the fact that they just want Lim, they're okay with Lim working for them, doing illegal things. They're okay with that. But Jack, you are a detective. That's the thing. This is what I don't understand. You are a detective and you're okay with your cousin who's on parole doing illegal stuff for you, who has a wife and a baby. But again, Lim, these are the choices that you make. These are the choices that you make. Okay? Which is crazy to me. Anyway, so since Franco doesn't have a supplier, that means Lim doesn't have a job. And so Jack was like, well, did you tell Bird? He looked at him like, I didn't tell Bird. And so Jack was like, well, I have some friends, which means this is some more illegal activity that you're going to need Lim to do for you, and it's going to cost Lim. Lim's going to have to owe you, which is what Lim said. He was like, if I do this for you, I'm going to have to owe you. And Jack said, you damn right. And that's the same thing Franco told him. I'm like, ugh. This is crazy. I can't wait to get to the season when Lim Mama come in. Ugh. Okay. Anyway, in the next scene, Terry visits Miss Ella, Ella is Lester Hardy's wife, ex-wife. Because what her Terry's coworker was like, you have to visit her because she has to we need her to testify against Mr. Hardy because she know exactly what happened. And Terry was against it, and she was like, she's such a sweet lady, and she left him, she divorced him, and she wouldn't want to come and do all of this. And so her coworker was like, you just have to ask her. So Terry visits Miss Ella and asks her if she can testify. And Terry tells Miss Ella, I wrote you a lot of letters, but I never got any response. And Miss Ella said, well, when I left Lester, leaving was the hardest thing, but it was the right thing. She said he turned into the devil, and although he was like that, I still don't want to hurt him by testifying against him. So Terry was like, listen, I remember you and my mom used to always tell me the truth is the truth, and it needs to be told. And so Terry leaves. So we don't know if she's going to be there or not. In the next scene, Jack and Lem goes to the house and they tell Bird that they wanted to take her out. Now, Jeremiah is at Kenny and Maxine's house. And what's his name? Maxine just already had a fit about Jeremiah, about keeping a baby, about Bird and Bird and Terry and all of that. So Lem, he talked to Kenny. Kenny said that it was okay that Jeremiah stay for a little while longer while they go out. Kenny never discussed it with Maxine. So, of course, that's going to be a problem. So they make it back. They arrive at Max and Kenny's house. After they hang out, they come back, arrive at the house. And Maxine emptied the clip on both Bird and Lem. She said, I'm tired of being taken advantage of. Y'all have time for everything else, but y'all don't have time for y'all don't have time for Sunday dinners. Y'all have time for your girls, but when I ask y'all to come pick up your kid, you don't come at the time you say you're supposed to be here. It's always you're going to be late, and you show up 3 hours late because today you're 3 hours late, or you're 10 minutes late, or you can't. Like, she let them have it, and rightfully so. She was pissed, but I also feel like ultimately you was pissed because they are not coming for Sunday dinner. That's the real reason you're mad. But okay, I'll always take that into consideration, because please don't take advantage of me. I get it. So we get to the deposition, and Miss Ella actually did show up, and she's there to testify. Of course, Lester Hardy is a mean old raggedy old bastard. Okay, played by y'all, who played Lester Hardy? What's his name? Shaft, the original Shaft. What is his name? Richard Roundtree. Richard Roundtree was mean as fuck. Okay, and we're not Richard Roundtree. Let me rephrase that. Lester Hardy was a mean ass, old honorary, conniving ass man. Okay, so Ella said, Lester did keep the books, and he worked the early morning shift on the register, and Jeremiah had the late shift. She said Jeremiah made big contributions as well, working towards their store. She said Lester knew about Jeremiah's gambling issues, but he also put temptation right into Jeremiah's hand by constantly giving him money, because I'm going to keep feeding him money because I know what he's gonna go do. Cause I know it's gonna. I think that's how. I think Lester Hardy tried to play the long game. I'm gonna keep feeding you money because I know doing this, you being a gambler, is gonna work out for me in the long run. Conniving. Anyway, she said that Lester made Jeremiah sit down and have a drink. So Lester said, "You a lie because Jeremiah didn't even drink." Ella said, "Which you knew he couldn't handle his liquor, and that's why you gave him a drink." And she said by the time they finished the bottle, Lester had Jeremiah owing so much and feeling so bad that he probably would have sold his own family. I said so at this point, Lester is upset. He is mad. He tells Ella, "You want great. I should have." Wait, what did he tell her? He something about, "I should have divorced you a long time ago. You ungrateful," and this and that. And he get up and he leave, which means Ella was telling the truth. Ella was telling the truth. So no, they didn't come up with a decision yet. We get to the next scene. So Terry is at Big Mama's house because she said she needed to get some proof. She needed to find proof, more proof, based on what Miss Ella was saying. So she gets to her mom's house, and she's going through some papers, and she find a picture of Jeremiah, and I want to say the woman on the picture was Big Mama. And she get a flashback. This flashback pissed me off so bad. And I think because times have changed and our way of thinking as women and as independent women have changed, what I realized is our grandmothers, our great grandmothers, our elders, what do I want to say? They did the best they could with what they had. All right. So Jeremiah comes home. This was Terry's flashback. And she remembered her dad coming home, and Big Mama greeted him with a smile. She had that big, y'all know how Big Mama always had that big Kool-Aid smile. And he speaks to Terry, "Good morning, baby girl." And he come in, it's early in the morning. They've been on all night, I guess. And she was like, give him a dry good morning, daddy. It wasn't like, hey, it was good morning. Terry at this point wasn't a little girl. You can tell Terry was in college at this point, and she could have been, I think she was in law school at this point. And Big Mama just smiling from ear to ear. And so Terry asked Big Mama, "Why do you keep putting up with him?" Big Mama says, "Stay out of grown folks' business." See, y'all think wisdom is just because you're getting older. Wisdom comes. Wisdom is not because you're just getting older. I'm just saying. It's not always that. So, I'm sorry. So, wisdom just wasn't because you was older. And y'all know Big Mama always had those good old, what they call them, not folklores or analogies. You can ball. What did she say in that movie? If you ball your fists and something about striking a mighty blow. I don't know, but child. Anyway, sorry y'all. Let me get back because anyway. I feel like Terry. I feel like in this scene right here, Big Mama was deflecting, and Terry was being completely honest, but Big Mama just didn't want to hear it, and that's just what it was. She just didn't want to hear it because I think she felt like like how they do, little girl, you can't give me no, you You can't tell me what to do, little girl. Like, that's how it felt to me. So anyway, Terry was like, well, Big Mama, why do you put up with him? She was like, you need to stay out of grown folks' business. Terry said, it's been a week. He's been gone a week this time. And Terry apologizes. So she was like, God gives you a mouth. He used your mouth as a blessing and a curse. Why would you tell her that? She was like, you have all the right things to say. You just don't know when to say it. She's saying the right things right now. You don't want to hear it. That is the problem. The problem ain't Terry. The problem is you. You are willfully choosing to ignore. You are self-abandoning. Let's keep it all the way up. But you are willfully choosing to ignore what your daughter is saying to you. You know what's happening is wrong. But, we also have to understand this was a different time. And so you had to take the shit. You had to take the shit. I think. I don't know. I wasn't there. You just, from my understanding, some stuff you had to take and you had to endure. But Terry apologizes, and after she make that comment to Terry, she looks at Terry because Terry still has something to say. Now, I will say this. She allowed Terry. She was like, go ahead and say what you need to say. And I love that. So Terry says, he keeps hurting you and you keep forgiving him and making excuses for him. So Big Mama was like, well, your father don't need excuses. He needs love. He's troubled and he's always been troubled. And so Terry asked why. Big Mama said, he just is. She said, but he's not too troubled to love this family. You wouldn't be in law school today if it wasn't for him. She said, he's always telling you ever since you was big enough to read that you can do anything you wanted to. Terry tells her, I love him too. But Mama, it's hard not to be mad about what he's doing. Okay. This here. Terry told her exactly how she felt. She was like, listen, he hurting you. You keep forgiving him and making excuses. Your response was, he's troubled. So how are you? So if he's troubled, that's everything outside of you. That's this man making poor choices. So how is your love supposed to fix his poor choices? I'll wait. Not your coochie, you can cook all the meals, you can do everything you're supposed to do, and that is not going to help somebody change. Again, different times. Anyway, you couldn't even answer why he was troubled. You just said because he is. So you're supposed to accept the fact that he's just troubled, and you're supposed to go on. You're supposed to just keep trucking and just keep being a wife and do everything you're supposed to do because this man is troubled and he's causing you pain. And you're ignoring that. Again, self-abandoning. You told Terry if it wasn't for him, you wouldn't be in law school because he kept telling you you could be anything you want to be. You didn't say his ass was paying for it. You said he kept telling her she can be whatever you wanted to be. So you sound like the grants and whatever financial aid, whatever scholarship got her in law school, and maybe some stuff you had to put aside because again, he's a gambler. He can't keep money. And the money for law school, if he was a gambler, Terry wasn't going to law school. So Terry probably had to get a scholarship to go to law school, and whatever you had to hide to get Terry in law school. So if we're going to keep it a bean and a buck, probably some of that money that was in the back of Uncle Pete TV, if it wasn't for you, Terry wouldn't be in law school. So then after She tells Terry, she tells Terry, after Terry tells her, I love him, mama, but it's hard not to be mad about what he's doing. She says, Terry, you've never been big on forgiving. And I was like, girl, deflection at its finest. But Big Mama continues to deflect, and she was like, if somebody do something to you that you don't like, you just gonna close them out of your heart? You better work on that, because one day you may need forgiving. If you don't get under my foot, let me tell y'all something. If somebody do something to y'all that is hurting y'all, please leave that person alone. I urge you of that. Do not give people chance after chance to hurt you, misuse you, or mistreat you. Okay? Bruh, Miss Big Mama, oh Lord. I used to really love this show. I did. I loved it. I mean, I really loved the way they had Big Mama in the show. I thought, but when you break Big Mama down, it's like, But again, she did the best she could with what she had. All right? So, y'all, Terry bumps into Damon again. And she has a conversation with Damon in her office. And she tells him, listen, I need time to figure this thing out. You know, I just really can't willy-nilly put us in this space where we have to tell everybody. Okay? This is my job. And I have to keep my job. And, you know, I just need you to forgive me. And all of the things. And they make up. And I'm assuming because they kissed, they gonna be hunching again. And this was the end of the episode, y'all. Big Mama worked on my nerve. I mean, let me say this. I feel like I can't be this hard on that lady. That lady only knew to do what she had. She only knew what she was taught to do. And overall, she was taught to love. And she was taught to love people right, wrong, or indifferent. And it was always taught to love people even when it hurt them. And it was taught to love people. They was taught to put people above them. It didn't matter how I felt. But I have to put you above me. Because that's the loving thing to do. That's the Christ-like thing to do. That's the right thing to do. That's not the right thing to do. Stop doing that. Okay. Stop self-abandoning, y'all. Don't let nobody teach you that. I'm sorry. That is crazy to me. I used to be that person. I am no longer that person. I think that's why I used to have a lot of anxiety. I have little slight anxiety when it just work wise. I be trying to get my work done on time. But other than I used to have a lot of anxiety. And it's because I used to put everything before Erica. And by the way, my first name is Erica. You know, I've said it a lot of times. But I stopped doing that. And I put me first, and understand that that's not selfish. And let me apologize if I'm coming up, you know, because I don't like if apologies. But let me say this: by no means I mean any harm by telling anybody this. I do mean this, and I really have good intentions when I tell y'all this. Do not self-abandon. Man, woman, boy, child. Don't self-abandon. But take care of those things. Don't be reckless. Don't live recklessly. Don't self-abandon. And take care of the things around you. Water those things around you. Whether it be your children, water those things around you. Water yourself. Yeah. Just do that. Make good decisions. I don't know who this for, but power to the people, okay? Listen, I have to say that because I'm very emotional, y'all. I'm a crybaby. I cry off a lot of stuff. But I just wanted to say that. Just don't self-abandon. If you need to pause, if you are so busy, don't let nobody tell you that you can't pause. Don't let nobody tell you pick yourself up by the bootstrap. Don't do that. If you feel like you hit a wall, pause. Figure it out. Like, stop. Take a moment. Smell the roses. Look around. Breathe. Take a minute and breathe. Take a day and breathe. Take a day off. Like, it's okay. Self-care. Get that nervous system regulated. Don't let nobody disrupt your ecosystem. Don't let nobody disrupt none of it. Y'all, be good to yourself. Be kind to yourself and those around you. And those people who come into your life, if they can't be kind to you, then you need to release them, and you got to be okay with that. And if somebody want to release you, be okay with it. I don't know why I wanted to say that. I don't even know how this tie into the review, but I just needed to say that. Anyway, that's all I got. This is your girl, Kiwan, reminding you to keep showing up, keep growing, stay true to yourself, and I will catch y'all in the next video. Okay?